So, a very common starter activity that you'll be doing is a Google Forms review. It's a really great way for you to self evaluate your own knowledge prior to an actual test. This is always going to be a silent task. On the right hand side, you'll always see the DNA. So, it's about 6 minutes, it's in silence, and the expectation is that you have all three sections completed. At the start, you have to actually click a form. You then want to make sure that you have it filled in to the best of your ability. Because this doesn't self-grade, you are going to be the one that's checking your work. But if you genuinely don't know an answer, it is okay to put don't know, providing that when you submit and take a look at it, you'll see it says view score. You actually have to then click view score and check and compare your actual answers. So that first part is you taking about 3 minutes or so to do the form. The second part is you actually looking at the answers. So you have to actually compare it to see if you're right, because you'll notice it does say 0 out of 0, because everyone's going to phrase their answers differently. So here I've asked what programming standard is missing. I can see I've written the word comments, and then it just goes into more detail. So this is your higher quality answer. Because it also explains what comments actually are. So that would be right. I know I probably want to work on adding a bit more detail. If I go down to the one that says I don't know, or if I look here and see that one's actually wrong, it's a trick question. It does actually meet the programming standards. And then the ones that says don't know, I want to actually take a look at and say, well, I've got that one incorrect. The third step is what questions did you get right? So you can discuss the main concepts. So I got comments correct. What corrections did I not get incorrect? I didn't get the trick question. I didn't get, so going back, always going back to check it. So I got the comment one right. I didn't get the trick question right. I didn't know the spacing. So I need to make sure that I have my spacing, so my paragraphs. That wasn't incorrect. So basically, you're making a list of things that you need to study. So that one's right. And well, here you can see it's a 3-bit question. I've scared keeps things nice and neat, which is that very first point. So we want to make sure that we're going into more in depth. So the purpose question needs to be more detailed. So if we do this, not only in that Google form does it list your answers, but I can see that you've actually taken the time here to go through and evaluate your work to see whether you have it right or wrong.